Dana Denha, and you're watching a special anniversary edition of FYI. The area's news magazine show has been hitting the streets for 30 years and over 1,000 episodes. In the third and final part of this milestone celebration, experience Washtenaw County through the lens of FYI cameras as we look back at some of the most memorable stories of the past 3 decades.
Gallup Park has gone to the goats as they work overtime clearing invasive plant species from 2 park islands.
Come here and you'll feel welcome like family. It's very loving and fun, and every time I come here I just can't wait to get on the floor and start doing what I love to do.
So helping out ALS research is really good.
It's just a fantastic cause, and we just raise a ton of awareness and also a lot of money towards ALS.
Well done. High five. That was a good race.
It takes years of practice flying kites big and small to be able to become a master.
The next time you look up to see a kite soaring through the sky, remember the precision, care, and craftsmanship involved in its creation, and ancient China for introducing the kite to cultures throughout the world. This state-of-the-art campus has a science lab, 800-seat theater, an Olympic-sized pool, and more. In September, the school will be admitting 450 freshmen and 30 teachers. Once senior year hits, the empty halls will be filled with a full staff and students at all grade levels.
We're the largest livery in the state of Michigan, so think of that recreation use, that everyone's coming out and experiencing, enjoying being on the river.
Huron River Day is a thank you to the river and how it runs.
We have the dirt doctors here that are talking about storm erosion, and then we have Stream Table over here, $5 boat rentals, free stand-up paddleboards over here that you can just take a test on a paddleboard. And then we have live music throughout the day, food trucks, and then many, many river exhibits to learn about the river.
Ann Arbor is such a great film festival in terms of how open it is to creativity and especially experimentation, and documentaries of all kinds enter, many films, but I'm concentrating on documentary most of all, and that's the exciting part for me, is just how experimental documentaries can be now.
It's fantastic. It's one of the top festivals of its kind in the world.
Bigger collection, so it's a better, bigger, amazing library we're here today, and I'm pretty excited about it.
It's so cool. It has lots of anchovies. I love it.
Just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. It's much larger than the branch that we had before. Looks like everything has been upgraded. The selection of books is wonderful.
The opening of this branch proves that libraries in Ann Arbor are and always will be crucial to the community.
We're playing 1860s bound rule baseball. So it's baseball when the game was transitioning from a game played by children to an organized game played by adults. It's just a more pure, form of baseball. For me, the attraction to it is just it's more gentlemanly game. It's not cutthroat, it's not win at all costs. We're just, 2 clubs going out here having fun.
The game may seem familiar, but different at the same time.
You'll see largely no gloves. The uniform I'm wearing is somewhat appropriate to the time period.
To this day, the University of Michigan's connection to the Peace Corps remains strong.
The paper we signed today was a memorandum of understanding between the Peace Corps and University of Michigan to create 2 new Master's International programs. They go overseas, do their service, and come back and complete their master's degrees here on campus.
Currently, 8,000 Peace Corps volunteers are serving in 77 countries around the world.
But no matter what age you are, whether you're a college student or whether you're someone at the latter stage of your career, if you're retired, we have a volunteer serving right now in Morocco who's 85 years old.
To commemorate the 50th anniversary, a cherry tree was planted at Cobblestone Farm.
Cherry trees are emblematic both of Michigan and of Japan, and so it's incredibly appropriate that we plant a cherry tree here to honor 50 years of friendship.
I and you two, we consider ourselves the citizen of the world, and it's getting smaller and smaller, so I think especially now it's more important that we have, a great relationship.
It's all about building building relationships. It truly is a small world, and staying connected with our friends in Hikone means a lot.
Over 35 million fans have walked through the gates. Over 100,000 people have filled the seats every game day since 1975. The crowd screams "Go Blue" at the Big House. The renovation cost a whopping $226 million, but it would not have been possible without the support of some very loyal fans.
The $226 million brought a tremendous change in the circulation space around the stadium. There's more concession stands, there's more capacity for restrooms. So it's a very important cash generator for the athletic department that helps us with all of our sports.
It's like one of the things that makes Ann Arbor such a great place is that we can have events like this where everybody from kids to older adults, everybody has a place here, everybody can have a good time. And, even in the snow, even when it's like almost below 30 degrees, we're still having a great time.
It's such a good time. Where else do you get to see all these awesome lanterns? Everyone's having fun. They're all lit up. Let's
go! Is they respond to the wind. So depending upon the wind speed, depends upon partly the color you get and how bright it is. So the faster it goes, the more colors you have, and also the brighter it is.
But for the moment, they are making a lot of people talk about this product powered by the wind.
I was hoping they were generating electricity for the LEDs, but I doubted that.
When they're all going, it's pretty cool to look down the street, see where the wind is blowing harder.
They're just really cool to watch because they'll go through different patterns and different colors, and they're just kind of tracking the wind, which occurs in the natural environment.
Project Mow provides lawn mowing service using my flock of sheep, and compared to the traditional way of cutting grass and fertilizing your grass, it's a lot more eco-friendly. It uses almost no fossil fuel, and it fertilizes natural way.
These 23 sheep are causing quite a spectacle.
People started talking to each other, and it seems like it's building some kind of a community. I don't know, sheep community, I guess. So I think that's a great part of having livestock in a public area, because kind of connects people somehow.
It was a cold day at the Big House for hundreds of competitors as they took a leap of faith into a steaming bath of ice water to raise money for the Special Olympics.
They filled it from a hydrant in our pools today. It's roughly 40 degrees there, but they dumped a couple pallets of ice in, so it was plenty cold.
The plungers were judged on 3 criteria: best costume, loudest scream, and of course, biggest splash.
There were some that were belly flops were always a great, creativity. Some that were doing karate kicks as they went in. Some that were catching football. So there were a lot of great ideas.
Take your breath away, cold.
I can assure you, it looked pretty cold.
It doesn't matter who really wins. What matters is that we raised good money for a very good cause, and we're supporting Special Olympics.
And the money raised for the Special Olympics reached record highs with over $130,000 in donations. We all know the first of this month is for pranks, but Festivals brings new meaning to April Fools.
I was just walking downtown and everybody was here on Main Street, so I thought I'd come take a look, see what's happening here.
I'm a fool. I've been a fool for a long time. One of the original fools.
I'm just hanging out for Festivals. I'm trying to check out what's going on, and in Ann Arbor, heard a lot of really cool things happening in Ann Arbor all the time.
The last 10 minutes of every concert are wonderful because not only are we doing patriotic music, but we're also saluting all of the members of the audience who have served or currently serve in the armed forces. We play a medley of all of the armed forces songs.
The Army Band is world class, so I'd expect nothing less than that. They're the most traveled musicians in the U.S. and throughout the world.
We perform for audiences large and small. We perform in some of the most famous venues in the world and some of the smallest venues in the world. But the response of the audiences is always great. It's a great treat to get out, see the sincere support that the American people have for America's Army.
All of us deserve to be safe.
Today we're letting our voices be heard, that
I feel like politicians are no longer listening to the majority, no longer listening to the people, they're listening to their pockets.
It's really nice to see that I am not the only person who feels this way. And I think that if the Founding Fathers could have imagined anything like a machine gun, if they could have imagined anything like somebody walking into a classroom and killing a bunch of kids, they would have rethought the Second Amendment.
WCC cut the ribbon as they start their next chapter as a National Center of Excellence in Nursing Education.
Having this state-of-the-art simulation lab allows us to prepare our nursing students so they're ready to go out and work in the community. And the necessity of having a lab like this is students not only get clinical experience, but they practice before they go to clinical. They're actually working with human simulators that are very realistic.
This simulation even allows students to experience the miracle of birth.
In the control tower, control how far we want the contractions apart, what type of birth we want to have. We can have a breech birth, we can have a precipitous delivery. We can challenge the students with all kinds of difficult deliveries that they might see in the real world. And then they actually deliver the baby. It's very realistic. The baby actually comes out and the students are there to assist the baby into the world.
They started small with about 3,200 people. And they grew. By the time they got to Montgomery, they were 50,000 strong. And there were people of every race, every gender, every ethnicity with a united voice.
The march began at the King Garden, adorning a bust of the man himself.
Our theme is live the legacy, look back, be present, move forward.
It's important that we can look to someone who we know fought hard, someone who had a lasting effect.
You know, my role as county commissioner, I think it's very important to encourage people to be proud of who they are and be out about it. I'm a proud, openly gay elected official, and I think it's important to talk about that.
We are incredibly lucky to live in a place where really just every day we've got businesses and community groups and organizations that are incredibly supportive and welcoming of everyone.
There's a different feel here in Ann Arbor Pride. It really feels like a community because that's what we are. I just absolutely love being here. I love seeing people come for the first time and feel proud of who they are.
I would say the 1969, 1970 early Vegas era is probably my favorite. I feel like Elvis was happiest at that moment. It was something new and exciting. The music was getting a lot of new material, a lot of changes. Everything got bigger. Just getting into the jumpsuits, he was slim and trim, and looked so good,
I always say that Elvis music is like soul food. It's good for your soul.
Thank you very much, Rosie.
Tails wagging dog swim is like a pooch yappy hour.
My dog goes crazy the entire time that we're driving here when he knows that we're coming here because he sees the towels in the car. And then when we get here, he can't wait to get out here, and he's progressed from needing to be coaxed into the water to flying in with reckless abandon after a tennis ball.
I think her favorite part was probably just running around in the pool and then just cooling off, I guess, because it's a hot day, and then meeting some new dogs.
It's a great community time for you to bring your dog. A lot of people who enjoy the dog parks around the city. This is kind of a unique event for them. They can get in the pool, socialize with other dogs.
Individuals must complete a 20-hour course to prepare for an array of emergency medical situations like light search and rescue, team organization, and disaster medical skills.
The actions of CERT, we want it to become second nature. We want it to become something that they do in their own personal life, as well as when we call them out for an activation. It doesn't only provide for the team training, but it provides them in their own communities with their own families on how to prepare and how to respond to a disaster situation.
They're being judged on amplitude, the size of the trick, the difficulty of the trick, and how well they execute the trick. So the judges take that all into account and give them a score, and they're posted immediately on the board so you can see how things are going, and it's just head-to-head. They go 20 feet in the air. They're going to do double flips and back spins all in one motion. It's phenomenal that you're this close to the water to be able to see them do those kind of moves. And the surfers will do the same type thing, spinning constantly, doing 360s behind the boat without a rope. It's pretty cool to watch.
What's going on here is a
and exposure to wheelchair basketball to give the Army and Navy an understanding of what it's like to be in a wheelchair and how great the sport is. We've got three-point shots, foul shots. There is no difference from the able-bodied game except the traveling rule. You're only allowed 2 pushes on the wheel, then you have to dribble the ball. So you can't simply have the ball in your lap and just fly all around like a bee on the court. You actually have to dribble the basketball. The chair is different than a hospital chair. It has no brakes on it. It's extremely fast. It can turn on a dime. It's made to suit each person's body. They're high-performance vehicles. And after a while, once you watch the game, you don't even notice the chair. You simply notice the athleticism of the athletes.
You can find just about anything in the shop's over 18,000 square feet.
We're like a mini department store now. So clothing, accessories, shoes, purses. We've got a whole media section in here behind me. Wonderful books, DVDs, CDs, vinyl, toys and games. We've got jewelry.
3,722 individuals from infancy to elderly represented Rosie the Riveter to reclaim the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of Rosies.
It feels thrilling, and the best part is not just being with the world record, but actually just being in the room with all those women at the same time, all focused on the same thing. It's incredible. The previous world record was 2,229 women, set by the Rosie the Riveter National Park in Richmond, California.
It's wonderful to see all the age groups that are here, from the several original Rosies that are in their 90s down to I've seen children that are, infants that are here, and the parents are trying to set a path for them to realize that what women can do in the future.
Anyone ready to run their fingers across the keys is welcome.
They love pianos around town. It's a great chance for local pianists to really showcase their talent to the public.
All sorts, from boogie to very beginning level, just chopsticks to what you're hearing out there, all different levels.
It's a very eclectic group here in Nipsey, I'd have to say.
People just love the fact that they can walk up and sit down and play a piece that they learned years ago.
The relationship between fathers and daughters took center stage at a yearly county celebration.
We're doing our annual Daddy-Daughter Dance event. We do this every year around Valentine's Day.
This daddy-daughter date night creates a tight-knit bond and memories that'll last a lifetime.
We have a photo booth, we have some arts and crafts going on, we have face painting and refreshments. Year after year, it's just great to see the daughters come with their dads every year. They build relationships and memories here that last forever. We see a lot of the same people year after year, and it's just fun to see them come back every year, and they're always so excited.
We'll fly through the rings, we'll cut the planets in half. We'll travel to the edge of the known universe and visit the various galactic sets along the way.
Series of 88 organized. Show people their favorite constellations, like the Big Dipper or something like that, but then leave Earth with that constellation sort of drawn in the sky, and it shows how that constellation loses shape and meaning once you leave Earth.
And the sky is no longer the limit, as the Digistar technology can transport to places once unimaginable.
We're running cosmic colors, which is about the spectrum of light and how that impacts astronomy. Well, when you're sitting here in the dome, you feel like you're in a big, giant fishbowl with all kinds of underwater sea life. They spent years building these. Nothing there is real. It's all animated, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And that's the reef exploration.
You're able to do things, everything in astronomy that you can really imagine, but then also a lot more beyond that.
Learning, educating, taking something. I feel like the political climate nowadays is something that's obviously very charged, and the Me Too movement especially has sort of brought a new lens, a new light to this sort of topic.
Our main speaker is Kevin Cantor. They are they're a poet, and they wrote the poem called "People You May Know," and it was about their assailant who came up on their friends list on Facebook. We also have Gina Asciuto. She's our singer for the evening. She's from Detroit, and she was on American Idol.
I think it's obviously still a very prevalent problem today, and so we just like to bring hope, embrace survivors, celebrate their stories wherever they are, and in their journey and just show them that people do care about this, that they are believed, that they are heard.
We have the right. The streets are ours. Take back the night. We have the power.
If you think of somebody with a disability who may have one side that's a little weaker or may have some coordination or balance issues, getting on the horse and simply experiencing that rhythmic movement helps fire up all of those same neurons and muscles that you would if you were going out and riding. So it provides an incredible opportunity for them to work on both sides of their bodies, skill building in all types of ways, communication skills, confidence, balance and core strength.
It gives him the opportunity to do something that he loves and to continue to grow and learn within that. The staff is incredibly supportive, and all of this happens in a supportive, safe, wonderful environment. You've made lots of friends here, haven't you?
Yes, I do.
Lots of friends.
Yes, that's a fence.
Yeah.
Wusong Fights the Tigers is based upon a story where Wusong, a gentleman, he sat down and started eating the food. And of course, when guys eat, you gotta have a little drink, right? So he kept drinking and eating a lot of food, and after all, he's really halfway drunk. And unfortunately, he just went through this alley and happened to pass these Jinyang Hills, where we see a lot of people that come to him and say, oh, don't go there because there's a huge tiger. When tiger shows up, and he and the tiger having a great time fighting each other.
It amazes me how believable it is when you see a puppet on stage and you hear a voice. And you just believe that the puppet is talking. It's a strange thing that happens. It's one of those magical things about theater, I think.
A flashover is where a compartment within the fire building, everything catches on fire at the same time. So once we reach a flashover, if firefighters are in there, our gear will start to fail, our air packs will start to fail. Some pre-flashover conditions are a significant change of heat. The smoke will start to become very thick, visibility will decrease, and there'll also be what are called fingers of fire that'll start to move across the ceiling. The best thing that somebody can do to prevent a fire death in your house is make sure you've got working smoke detectors. The other thing we recommend is make sure that you have an escape plan.
This theater troupe began as a puppet show. Now they travel all around the world, bringing children-led exhibits to different festivals and celebrations.
When you go to a festival, often there's not many places for kids to really have fun and be creative as well. You know, it's about the bands and the stages and things like that. But I think also just the sculptural thing and about kids being able to walk away and go, wow, we made that, we did that, we helped put something into this festival is really cool for them.
The favorite part of Cobblestone Farm is I get to time travel. I get to go back to the 1850s and telling the history and the relationship of Cobblestone Farm to the city of Ann Arbor and Pittsville Township. We were part and parcel of the development of this area.
Well, we've become somewhat disconnected from what life was like a couple hundred years ago. We try to bring that home to people who come here.
We projected the outline, did the outline, and then now it's a paint by numbers and engaging the community, getting the community involved and caring for their park. And now every time they pass by, they can say, hey, I painted that.
The composition is an abstract, very active composition that will complement, I think, the idea of life here with trees, movement with the kayaks, as well as just the noise of the river going in the background. So something that will complement these sort of sensory experiences that isn't literal.
We started the graffiti cover-up about 2 years ago, so this was kind of just a way more massive project than what we normally do, but was a really great opportunity for us to get the community out and volunteers out to really, kind of help beautify our city.
We learned how to know if a helmet fits you and how it's safe for you and why you should use it, the risks of not wearing one while you're biking.
During first aid, they're going to learn how to do bleeding control. So if they have somebody with a big bleed, they learn how to put pressure on it and bandage it and all those sorts of things, how to properly clean it. They're going to learn how to do some basic splints for broken bones.
If you're in a situation where somebody's in cardiac arrest or somebody is just like not in a well shape, they need to be able to know what to do. Or when they call 911, they need to know what to do when the ambulance is coming.
Giving the kids the skill, so you're giving them something that they might really need to use.
You're going to see a lot of precision flying at that. You're going to hear a lot of noise, and there's going to be a lot of thrills as well.
Safety and precision are key as the Thunderbirds prep for their headlining flight.
I went to the Air Force Academy, graduated from there in 2002, and started flying the F-16 thereafter. So I'm doing it for a long time. I got 4 combat deployments. It's kept me safe through all those, and happy to be able to show what the F-16 can do to the general public.
The focus to carefully select each and every aircraft. It's like an invite-only car show. We're very sensitive to the quality of aircraft that attend here, the quality of performer, and we also work very hard to make sure, as safe as possible, the public can get intimate with the aircraft and the aviators.
It's a great event to get the community together, to bridge the gap between military and civilian, and just to watch the amazing acts that people work so hard on.
It's amazing how the community has embraced this, and the Yankee Air Museum volunteers have risen to the occasion to put on one of the nation's best shows.
The Taste hosts established restaurants as well as those new to the area.
Our business, LeBone Macaron, started as a family business. So all of us are involved, both my siblings, my parents, my husband's even here. So we're all really involved. We have 3 stores. We specialize in French macaron.
We got good food, fun atmosphere. The servers make it fun for you. Our food, I think, is top notch, definitely.
We've been here 42 years, and we have seen, some restaurants come and go, and we are still here, probably because we have the best seafood this side of the Mississippi.
It's a great way for people to experience what we have if they're not regular customers and they just want to sample us on the streets. It's a perfect opportunity for us to showcase what we do at Conner O'Neill's and maybe get a future customer.
It's a great community event because one thing that brings people together is definitely good food, good drinks. There's a ton of people here, so obviously everyone else agrees.
That's all because of the students right here standing for 24 hours.
It really boosted her self-esteem and her self-confidence. She used to be very shy, but to have, a whole team focus on her, she came out of her shell really quickly.
GMOM has become my family. Every person, every class, there's someone I know, and I've never met such a network of genuine people, and we just fundraise for the best cause in the world.
Thank you for your support of FYI for the past 30 years and over 1,000 episodes. And continue to watch as the show highlights our area for many years to come. For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer, and remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.